the debate.
Woo, okay.
The biggest shockers, high points, low blows, and who came out on top.
Wrong.
That is absolute
Wrong.
Proved over and over again.
Hillary's campaign manager, Robby Mook, gives his morning after scorecard and Hillary's best and worst moments of the debate.
I prepared to be president, and I think that's a good thing.
Then, rap superstar and actor Common is getting real about racism in America in a powerful new collaboration with music royalty Stevie Wonder. The House of Hot Topics is in session with Whoopi, Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, Sarah Haynes, and Jedediah Bila. Now, let's get things started.
Wow. Thank you, baby. You know, I'm wearing this because I'm doing a little Snoopy dance. Should I do the Snoopy dance?
Yeah.
What's the Snoopy?
Yeah.
Why today?
Well, because it was really great to watch this debate. This is a debate that made me really sort of excited. There weren't enough things in that house to get me to the nirvana state that I was in watching this debate. Now, Hillary and Donald went head-to-head for the first round of presidential debates, and as I said, I didn't think I could ever have this much fun watching. But before we get into the meat of the debate, were there anything for you, any moments that you kind of went, wow, or or did you have any moments, or were you just drinking wine?
Between the drinking water and the sniffling, he looked like he had the swine flu, the guy. And I actually clocked. If you watch the look, I clocked the water. Look, 5 minutes late, 8 minutes, 6 minutes. I mean, somebody told him to hydrate, and he took their advice.
What was funny was, for me, it was the sniffing. I was emailing back and forth with Joy. I was like, what is going on with the sniffing? It's like he accused, you know, Hillary of having the pneumonia.
What did I write back?
Can I say what you wrote back? She said it must be cocaine.
To me, I mean, just saying. That's what it looked like.
Well, just to balance it, maybe he's got, you know, what happens when you go out and there's pollen in the air? Maybe he's got allergies. That's just to balance it. You know how I think.
Well, there were a lot of funny moments. I was following mainly Twitter, and my husband kept saying, you should be listening. I'm like, I'm listening, but this is like even better on Twitter. Yeah. There were a lot of drinking games for when he said certain words and when she said certain. Right. I was not partaking. I have a baby and whatever, but like I was laughing so hard. The Twitter game was very strong last night. There was a Trump sniffle trending.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, you know what else struck me? When he said braggadocious. Yeah. I was like, oh, man, is that a word? I think it is. And so then Twitter, Merriam-Webster sends this out. Braggadocio is at the top of our lookups right now. Yeah. And it is actually a word.
What about Bigley? Is Bigley a word?
No,
he keeps saying
so.
Bigley.
It is a word, but he didn't actually say Bigley.
He said Bigley twice.
Well, it says that, I saw, because the dictionary was, again, having some strong Twitter game.
Yes.
They said Bigley is a word, but he wasn't actually saying Bigley, I think, using it properly.
No.
Right.
Oh, all right. It is a word, though. I never heard that word.
I find it really hard to watch these because I want to jump through the television. I don't know if anybody at home agrees with me, but I find myself sitting there, and when I hear something, I'm like, why isn't he saying this? And why isn't she saying that? And I kind of want to get involved. So I think it's really frustrating, particularly with these two candidates, because whether no matter what, you look at them and there's deficiencies on both sides that you at home want to fill. And I found myself in that position of wanting to just jump in there and kind of get them both on on track, but I don't know if it changed a lot of hearts and minds. I feel like the people who went in supporting Trump came out supporting Trump. People who went in supporting Hillary came out supporting Hillary.
Think his
and those
fans
people who were independents, I think they're still independents and still confused.
But you don't think his fans are disappointed by this? Around
Not
40 minutes in,
necessarily, no.
he kind of lost, like he's like a lover in the middle of sex. He falls asleep.
Yeah.
Like at around 40 minutes in.
I didn't feel that way.
You know?
I didn't feel that way. I felt like he was. I felt like he was on the
I wrote down losing it. I remember my note.
The thing that kind of bothered me is it really pissed me off when he was like, and she's running ads, and they're mean to me. And it's like,
She's not.
come on, man, stop.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that if you listen to an answer, typically from him, and you tried to figure out what the question was, you couldn't always figure it out. As I listened to his answers, they kind of took me somewhere, and I looked, I was like, wait, I'm confused. What just happened? Like, I didn't know where I was going.
Well, that's why I said I didn't need do anything last night except watch this. Because it was like, if you've had too much to drink, then that's what you generally see. This was me straight as an Arab on. What the?
But you know what the problem? But the exactly. It was bizarre. What I found kind of interesting about Trump is, he seemed very ill-prepared for a lot of the policy discussions, and she was able to bait him and lure him down so many different rabbit holes. So he felt the need whenever she attacked.
She played his game.
Yeah, whenever she attacked, he basically had to respond, and that is like not rule 101 of debate. I was on a debate team, of course.
No.
Of course you were.
Of course I was on a debate team, right?
What a surprise.
Yeah, I was on a debate team, and you learn that you stay on message and you make your point regardless of what the other team is doing. And so there were so many missed opportunities for him, but he had to go back to the digs because he just couldn't handle
the
it.
missed opportunities are because there's a reason for that. He's not a conservative. So when you hear keywords, he's not. When you hear a keyword from Hillary Clinton like fair share, I'm jumping through my TV. I'm talking about opportunity. When you hear divisive things from her that divide the country, I'm jumping in and saying like taxes, like this vilification of the rich that drives me mad all the time.
Well,
but he's not a conservative. So those things that are on the tip of my tongue, they're not on the tip of his tongue.
People
And
think he's a conservative.
to people like me.
Well, so does it bother you that he can't finish a sentence?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
We'll be right back. It's like...
Sometimes it takes a fearless view on the world.
When the conversation of race comes up, I sometimes struggle with talking about it.
You have to acknowledge that there is a problem.
Talk about it, and talk about it honestly.
It can be done.
And you weighed in. Authentic, brilliant, real, insightful, great conversation. The place to be heard is The View. Tomorrow on ABC. Now.
Both candidates apparently scored points last night. Hillary had a lot of strong moments, like when she shut down one of the big reasons that Trump says she's not fit to lead. Take a look.
I said she doesn't have the stamina, and I don't believe she does have the stamina. To be president of this country, you need tremendous stamina.
Well, as soon as he travels to 112 countries and negotiates a peace deal, a ceasefire, or even spends 11 hours testifying in front of a congressional committee, he can talk to me about stamina.
That was so masterful, and yet again, a missed opportunity by Trump, because once she mentioned the 11 hours, why didn't he say something like, of course I'm never going to have to experience that because I would never have handled Benghazi the way that you did. There were those kinds of missed opportunities for his base.
He's smart enough.
But
and he did no prep. He did no, he did no prep. He doesn't know enough. He doesn't know enough.
Maybe,
and I know there's lots of people that love him. I get it, I think. But you have to, look, the only people that really sort of get it are the people who get it. His people get him, her people get her, right?
But I was a little bit offended by, I'm offended by his misogyny at all times and his sexist remarks. So at one point she said, this is a man who called women pigs, slobs, and dogs. Yeah. And he said, Rosie O'Donnell, I said very tough things to her. and I think everybody would agree that she deserves it. What is she, why? Wait, this is my question.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell gives money to charity, a lot of her money. He takes money from charity to pay his taxes. And he doesn't even pay his taxes, to pay his creditors. So how does, it's so offensive to me to say that I'm going to call you a fat pig and then you deserve that.
It's
an outrageous statement. I don't understand how any woman can vote for this guy.
Those were not his strong moments. I think he did have some strong moments that I was watching. No, I do. Look, I want to show a clip where he really goes after the status quo and establishment politicians. Just take a look what he says to her.
You've been doing this for 30 years. Why are you just thinking about these solutions right now? For 30 years you've been doing it, and now you're just starting to think of solutions.
This is why he's resonating. And the reason is that Hillary Clinton has been in politics for a long time. And this is a guy, regardless of what you think about him, came out of business, not out of politics. And he is here. People believe he's going to challenge the system. Yeah, but you have to. People believe he's going to challenge the system, that he's going to take what's broken in politics and bring common sense.
Wait. Can I just?
Their argument.
No, okay, so here's my argument. 1978 to 1982, she was the First Lady of Arkansas twice. January 20th, 1993, she became First Lady. 2000, she was elected to the Senate from New York. 2006, she was re-elected to the Senate in New York. So it's not 30 years that she's been in politics. She has been a politician. She was a First Lady 4 times. So let's really get to it. I mean, he accused her of fighting ISIS her whole adult life.
Another stupid comment.
I mean, another stupid comment. You know, but that's the problem. Yeah, that's the issue. Why don't you know that? You should have been prepared, man. This is not the game. This is America. I mean, it's like, you know, and yeah, there's lots of stuff senators and congresspeople can do, but they don't run the nation. She was Congress and Senate, I believe, under Bush also.
But the point he should have made, though, is you have a resume, but what are the accomplishments? You were Secretary of State. That's what I would have said. No,
that's what you would have said.
You were Secretary of State. That on your resume looks great. I went to Columbia University. If I walked out with all F's, that would not be good. So what did you do as Secretary of State that makes me believe?
You know, you can't take her compliment. Look, I get that people want to do that with Obama. You cannot take a woman's accomplishments from her when she has busted her ass. When we come back, we'll show you.
Later, music superstar Commons rapping about his powerful new song with Stevie Wonder.
Hey now. So, the first presidential debate of election 2016 is officially in the history books. And right now we're getting a day after play-by-play from a man who probably didn't sleep a week last night. Please welcome Hillary Clinton's campaign manager, Robby Mook. What's up, Robby? So we want to dive right in.
You know, Robby, last week you sent a memo to supporters and donors saying, don't panic.
Yep.
Till last night, I was in a bit of a panic when I see the polls so close, and it's outrageous that she has to be even on the same stage with the guy.
Yeah.
But why shouldn't I panic?
Well, nobody should panic. We do need to be very focused and work really, really hard. You know, what I always say to our supporters is, I don't want to just win by a little. I want to win by a lot.
Yeah.
I want to send a big message.
I know. That? How do you get that?
Well, so there are some states we outlined in the memo, 5 states the Democrats have historically won in the past few cycles. We feel pretty confident about those. And then we only need 10 more electoral votes. And we can get that by winning Florida. We can get it by winning North Carolina. We can win Ohio and we're done. There's a lot of paths. The problem for Donald Trump is he basically has one path. And he has to win Florida. He has to win Ohio. He has to win North Carolina. I would even argue he may need need to win Virginia and Colorado, which he hasn't been winning this entire election, and used to be battleground states. He's really alienated the voters there. So we have a lot of paths, but I'm always very clear. We got to focus and work really hard.
Get the vote out. Get them out.
Get the vote out.
Yeah.
She had so many strong moments last night, but as you guys head into debate number 2, what are you going to work on? Where do you need to direct your focus?
Yeah, well, look, every time Hillary's had an unfiltered opportunity to talk about what she's going to do to help families, you know, she spent 20 years fighting for kids and families. That is her mission. And so I wish she'd had more time last night to really reflect on that, talk about her plan to help people afford child care, afford college, afford prescription drugs. These are the things that voters really care about. And Donald Trump likes to throw a bunch of wrenches in and, you know, sparks and flashes and all that. This election is about people's lives, and Hillary has such great plans and ideas to really help people get ahead. That's what we want to spend more time talking about.
Well, Robby, first off, congratulations. I actually think she had a good debate night. But my question for you is, some people felt that she got a pass on some things, like the Clinton Foundation, like Benghazi, like the emails, because Donald Trump didn't come back with a quick comeback. I was shouting at my TV, but he wasn't shouting it. Do you think she got a pass on those things? And is she ready, if those tough questions come her way next round, is she ready to handle them?
Well, I think she's ready. I mean, she said herself she spent 11 hours in front of a congressional hearing about Benghazi. I think she's answered all those questions. Yeah. How many times has she been asked about emails? She's answered those questions. And we're happy to talk about foundations. The Clinton Foundation has saved literally 10 million lives around the world, funding AIDS medications, making treatments for malaria more affordable. Donald Trump used his foundation to go, you know, to fund lawsuits against his political enemies and to buy self-portraits. I mean, it's just the difference is so clear in this. So we're happy to, you know, have that conversation.
In terms of the donations and things, though, that have been brought up about where those donations went, the types of countries that received them, things like that, those types of accusations. Is she ready to be open and transparent about those things and stand for or against what those countries that received those donations stand for?
I think that she is happy. You know, first of all, they took donations from countries like Norway that wanted to help save lives, Australia to save people from dying from AIDS. You know, Donald Trump can call that a scandal. I think it's a wonderful thing that they were saving lives around the world, and she's proud of that.
Let me ask you this question. Is all the information on the donations been made clear? I mean, everybody has seen it.
All the donations
They know
are
where the
public.
donations went, who they came from, what they did. So those are not in question. That's all there. All their money that she's earned, it's all where it came from, who got it. And with her emails, she ever been hacked?
In fact, the FBI looked at this. They said there's no evidence that she was hacked.
She's ever been hacked.
No evidence that she was hacked.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that.
But I want to follow up on this. We talk about transparency. I think what was stunning to me last night, first of all, Donald Trump doubled down on not releasing his taxes. We haven't seen any of that from him.
And admitted that he didn't pay them.
And then he said that was a smart thing to do. He is a billionaire. All working people across this country, you know, myself included, we are paying our taxes, and he's proud that he's paying nothing.
How does he expect to pay for the police, to pay for roads, to pay for bridges, if he doesn't pay any taxes?
Exactly. His Secret Service protection. We're paying for that. Apparently
he should pay for it, but he shouldn't.
You know, after the debate, Trump said, everything I wanted to say, I got out, except for the transgressions of Bill. Was Secretary Clinton prepared to answer those questions?
She's tough. She's ready to talk about anything. You know, for me, this election is about families. It's about how our kids get a good education. It's about how we all get quality health care. It's how we create more jobs, get wages rising. How in the world does bringing that up help us talk about those issues?
It's totally irrelevant.
Do you think it's fair game?
I don't know anymore. With Donald Trump, you know, he thinks everything.
I think that's the trouble, because they'll blame her for his transgressions.
But here's the thing.
Nothing to do
the
with
pot cannot call the kettle black.
There's that, too.
Okay? Because on one hand, you're talking about her husband. That's not her. She didn't transgress.
No.
So bringing that up only opens up another can of worms that I'm pretty sure you don't want to open up. I mean, on the other side.
He's about it, so he's kind of open about a lot of that stuff.
Well, I don't think he's as open as he thinks, because he stomped his feet a lot last night.
Yeah, no,
With mean, she was so mean.
Well, it's kind of like the taxes. I don't think he sees anything wrong with it. You know, when he says, I didn't pay, and it's a good thing. But we do have Alicia Machado, the 1996 Miss Universe winner who's accused Donald of calling her Miss Piggy and Miss Housekeeping because she's Latina. This morning, Trump said she gained a massive amount of weight and it was a real problem. That's a direct quote. Are you surprised he's doubling down and taking the bait on that?
You know, sadly, we've seen this again and again. This is the guy who attacked a Gold Star family, a Gold Star mother. It's unfathomable. And it gets back to why I don't think Donald Trump can be president. He does not have the temperament. We don't want our kids seeing their commander-in-chief and their president insulting women. You know, I have 2 nieces. I don't want them to think this behavior is okay, and I don't think anybody does.
Been surprised by, which Hillary she's outspending Donald Trump 5-1 on the airwaves. She arguably has a better ground game in terms of winning this election. She's been a political name. She's a household name. People know who she is. Why is this race in a dead heat? Why is it so tight, and why isn't she running away with it at this point?
Yeah, you know, look, all these presidential campaigns are close. I'm very confident that we are going to win this election. As I said, I want to win it by the biggest margin possible. But people are angry and they're frustrated, and a lot of what Donald Trump says might sound good at first. I mean, after a while, you can't really follow it anymore and that sort of thing. But the fact of the matter is, when we look at his record, at what he's done, the people he's cheated, you know, he talked last night about jobs going overseas. He outsourced his clothing line overseas. I mean,
He's such a hypocrite.
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. You know, and part of why I'm excited to be here today, it is actually National Voter Registration Day today. So we are encouraging everyone, make sure you're registered to vote. Whatever party, whatever, just get registered, get out. You want to be, this is going to be the biggest election in our history, record turnout. Let's all be part of it.
The thing I would say to you also is you guys have to talk in your campaign about how you're going to talk about race. Because I don't think anybody did a decent job yesterday. And I know it felt like everybody was tippy-toeing and they didn't know. And we'd had a conversation yesterday about people trying not to say the wrong thing. I think you have to be really clear with her, or ask her to be much clearer. As a person of color, I didn't know what either of them were saying. And I found that to be a problem. So I would like to encourage you, or you know, encourage the group to, like, figure out a better way to get that part of the message across. Because I think it's important.
He's trying to weasel out of the next debate. He's already saying the mic was defective, Lester Holt wasn't right.
But don't. I'm serious, because race is an issue.
Well,
and it's one that we have to.
And she needs the African-American and Latino vote. I mean, if you look at the numbers, Jose Ramos said that you would have to win more than 33% of the Hispanic vote to win, and the African-American vote. I don't know the percentages. So
and the women vote, but there has to be clear, just a little bit clearer for me. But Robby, come back. Come back after the next one so we can talk about that as well.
I would love to do that.
All right.
I would love to do that.
Thanks to Robby Mook. Now, hold on. Wait. We want to let you know that we are a fair table. We're going to be talking to Donald Trump's campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway, on Thursday. So make sure you come. And if you got questions, you know, maybe we'll ask them. Not from you, but we'll glean them and figure it out. Whatever we do, we will be right back. But today's National Voter Registration Day, and hundreds of events are planned across the country. Tonight's MTV's classic TRL returns for one day only as Total Registration Live to get millennials to register. For more information, visit our website all week long. We're going to be showing you how to register and exercise your rights to vote this November. So go ahead.
Well, you know, you mentioned millennials. Did you say the word millennials?
I did say the word millennial.
She's having trouble getting the millennials, I understand. But the millennials really should be very concerned about this election, because he believes that global warming, Trump does, is a Chinese hoax. I'll be dead. You know what? I'll be dead by then. But these millennials and their children will not. And you guys need to pay attention to this, because you won't have water. Well, you know, and he's so thirsty, he's going to need the water.
You know, one thing that I want to pick up on One thing that I want to pick up on is we did say that we didn't feel that Hillary was, I guess, clear enough on her stance on the race issue.
I just felt it could have been a lot clearer. It was just very muddy, and I felt it should have been clearer.
But what I did like about it is that she pointed out square on that he has a history of ongoing racist behavior. And she's, I think, the first person to couch it in those terms. And in terms of the birther movement, I mean, he basically said, I forced him to put out his birth certificate, and I'm not saying anything else about it. He didn't apologize. And I had this interesting conversation with my dad, and my dad said that the reason that that wound, that birther movement, cuts so deep in the African-American community is because slave traders used to ask for documentation for African Americans that were free. And my father said that his grandmother, born on a plantation, just didn't have a birth certificate.
It's worse than that, baby.
So that is why it cuts so deep in the community.
Kept you from voting. This is how they kept you from voting. You know, look, there's all kinds of stuff. This is not, you know, this is not new. You know, this is not new information. But for me, if you're going to talk about what's going on, then speak about it. You know, he was vague when talking about, oh, yeah, they got, who's got guns? Who is they? Who is they?
And he said bad people.
Bad people. But I needed her to say that. I needed her to say, listen, let's say who you're talking about. Either clear it up or stop saying it. That's what I needed her to do. You know, but listen, there's two more debates, could be 6 more debates. Well, you know, but at the moment he hasn't said he's not, so right now there's 2 more to look forward to. I'm telling you, I'm cleaning out everything in my drawers because I want to watch this straight as an arrow. We will be right back.
Peace, this is Common, and the violence that's been happening in America, especially the black Americans, has been a hot topic that the ladies have been talking about. Well, I'm about to come down to the desk to talk about how we can write a new story for black America.
Tomorrow, Kiefer Sutherland tells the ladies about his mega hit new series, Designated Survivor.
Multi-talented superstar Common is taking on a tragic hot topic that's become all too common in this country: black Americans killed by police violence. He enlisted musical royalty like Stevie Wonder to lend a powerful voice to a new song called Black America Again. Here it is, and here is the multi-talented and really kind of cute Common. Cute as a button. Come here, cutie. Cute. You know, very cute. See, that it's unseemly when I do that, but I can't help because he's adorable.
Thank you.
So you watched the debate last night. What'd you think?
Well, for me, I just looked and I was like, Donald Trump is just not prepared to be a president. He's not that type of person that should be a president. And I thought that Hillary Clinton, you know, from her, I could see her experience. I was really like a virgin at watching the debate because I had never watched the Democratic debate or the Republican debate. So I really got to see why Hillary Clinton is a better candidate. I mean, I obviously knew that, but to hear him just say phrases like law and order and make America great again and not have any ideas about policies and never said anything concrete, where me as someone just coming in for the first time could really try to see what his perspective is. It just revealed everything, and it made me sad about America that we do have people that really believe in what he's saying, and because what is he saying, you know?
Common, I wanna ask you about a hot topic right now going around about Colin Kaepernick. And yesterday you had LeBron James coming out and saying that he supports Colin Kaepernick's decision to kneel in protest during the national anthem. Even though LeBron wouldn't do it himself, he supports that decision that Kaepernick had made. Can you relate to how Kaepernick feels and the decision that he's made?
Oh, I truly relate to what Colin Kaepernick is doing. I mean, he's standing up for justice. He sees things going wrong in our country. I think we all see it. For people to ignore it is like we're not doing our duty as Americans, as children of God. I think that the courage that Colin Kaepernick is showing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my heroes is Muhammad Ali, and I was like, I haven't seen an athlete take that type of stand since Muhammad Ali, where he's sacrificing.
Yeah. You know, I went to Charlotte this weekend to talk to people in the wake of the recent police shootings there, and we had this incredible discussion about race right here at the table yesterday. And your new song, Black America Again, is so timely, much like your song Glory, where you had those lyrics, that's why we walked through Ferguson with our hands up.
Yeah.
Love that song.
Thank you.
Why write this now? What inspired you?
Well, you know, what inspired me was I was having a conversation with an artist I work with named Maimouna Youssef, and she was talking about Sandra Bland, and I started to think about how Sandra Bland's family are still dealing with the loss of a human being who they cared for, and how her life was shortened for what reason we have no reason to even understand or know why. Now, I started relating that to all the other names that we can say and we call out: Tamir Rice, Laquan McDonald, Rakia Boyd. And I was like, this is a cycle that has repeated itself throughout history for Black Americans, not just with police brutality, but I mean, from slavery to Jim Crow to mass incarceration. Now, so my thought was, this is a cycle, it's repeated itself, but how do we write a new story now? And I also have to say that within the song, I hold us accountable too as Black people for what we do to each other. We know it's systematic, but we still can't just be victims of that system all the way. So I wrote that song, but I'm always hopeful, so that's why Stevie Wonder is at the end saying we're rewriting the story.
The victims also, a lot of times, will turn on each other. That's typical in a way.
That's typical, yeah. Mental health is important for our community. For not only just for our community, for all communities, mental health.
Why do you suppose it's so hard for white people to talk about race?
I think, you know, because Black people have been done so wrong, the white people that do care, they don't want to offend us. And I think it's important that we just have those open, honest conversations. One thing I did like that Senator Clinton said was that implicit bias is real. Like, let's be honest with each other. When we see each other sometimes, it's a real bias that we have, but it's okay to discuss it. That's how we get to the solutions, is being honest, being real with how our feelings are.
We wanted to talk a little bit about voter registration, because we're encouraging people all week to register to vote. And you're hosting a voter registration event later today. Why is it so important to you?
Yeah, I'm hosting an event with Howard Schultz, the CEO from Starbucks, who's been really adamant about helping make change within the communities. I really love that brother. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. So it's important for me because for a while I didn't believe in politics. I didn't. You know, just as a young Black man growing up, I just didn't see any politicians that I felt were for me. At a certain point, I started realizing that some of the changes that I wanted to see happen was going to happen beyond a grassroots level. It happens on a grassroots level, but it also has to happen in a political structure, state, local, and federal. So that made me say I have to elect people who I see are reflecting what I believe the change should be. And I've met politicians that do have that effect. And of course, President Obama was one of the inspirations for me, like when I saw a human being that cared for all people.
Also, before we go, it's also important for everybody to know what's on your ballot. Know what you're voting for, because we found that so many people were surprised to discover that Stand Your Ground was part of their state. You need to know what's out there so you can know how you accept it. Common, thank you for coming. Come back anytime. If you're in the New York area, go see him at the Turn Up the Vote event in Queens this afternoon. Black America Again is available, all digital service providers. We will always be right back. 16 of our 20-day vacay giveaway thanks to our sponsor, Wyndham Rewards. Sonny is blindfolded in the win booth today, which is full of numbers that represent our studio audience, and she's about to pick a winner. Sonny, are you ready? All right. Here we go. Go, Sonny. Woo! All right. Pick a winner, baby. Pick a winner. You good? You coming out? You got
Yes.
one? All right.
She's got it.
I was about to have a Marilyn Monroe moment.
Okay. So, congratulations. What number? All right. Number
41.
141. Okay. You are getting a trip to stay at the Wyndham Santa Monica, California. Woo! We're giving away 2 more trips tomorrow. Tune in to see which audience member gets one. Our viewers at home need to visit our website by midnight tonight to see how to have a better chance to win for tomorrow's vacation. Congratulations, everybody. Have a great day. Take a little time.